1 minute, a special needs student was walking down the hall in school. The next, he says he was thrown against the lockers, then to the ground by a police officer. What happened? You're about to see the video for yourself. 2 investigator Dave Savini has the story of a painful lesson.
Security cameras are about to capture the beating of this 15-year-old special education student by a police officer.
So he was shouting at you and he was swearing at you?
Yeah.
Marshawn Pitts says the officer started by verbally abusing him because his shirt wasn't tucked in.
I was tucking my shirt in.
But it's what happens next after the officer puts down his coffee that had Marshawn Pitts worried for his life.
It was just like, boom.
He says he was blindsided by the officer, thrown into lockers, and struck repeatedly.
Where did he hit you?
He hit me like right here, and boom.
Watch as he gets slammed to the ground, his face smashed into the floor.
It still has a bump.
Right here.
His nose was broken.
Were you bleeding? Did you know it was your face?
All this was like all on the outside. My mouth was busted.
Violent and unnecessary treatment, he says, considering he was attending the Academy for Learning in Dalton for students like him with special education needs. When he was younger, he suffered a brain injury and now has a learning disability.
So this school was for students with special needs? And they were supposed to help you and understand your situation?
Yeah, but instead I got beaten on by the police.
The officer was in his face because he didn't have his shirt tucked in.
Ed Mansky is Marshawn's attorney.
And that's the officer put in that school to protect these kids. And instead of doing that, this officer is literally assaulting this kid.
That's a big officer, too.
The officer in question was a Dalton police officer, and the hold he puts Marshawn in can be a dangerous one.
He's on top of this
Right.
young man, okay?
Right.
That's called a face-down takedown.
Yes.
This type of
Typically, a
physical
face-down
restraint
takedown
has
is
killed
when
students,
one
says
of our
Zena
kids
Nadic from
was
Equip for Equality,
reported.
a legal advocacy group that fights for the rights of people with disabilities.
It's called a face-down takedown.
A face-down takedown.
Takedown, and kids often, and adults, die because they can't breathe.
This government accounting office report was released in May, just 1 day before the officer's use of the hold on Marshawn. The GAO study found face-down takedowns led to at least 20 deaths nationwide. Currently, 8 states prohibit the use of this hold. Illinois is not one of them.
So we don't actually know how common these incidents are, and that's outrageous.
I couldn't breathe.
Were you begging him to stop?
Yeah, I was like, let me up.
He's getting a beating, and he's getting a beating on an issue that has nothing to do with danger. It has to do with dress code.
No one from the Academy of Learning in Dalton would talk to us about the alleged abuse. The Dalton Police Department and the mayor of Dalton did not return our phone calls. Marshawn Pitts' attorney, Ed Mansky, says he's transferred to another school and is planning to file a lawsuit. The State Board of Education says no one from the school reported the use of forceful restraint to them, Rob.
You know, a lot of times when we see video, you hear somebody say, well, you didn't see the whole video, you didn't see the whole story. Has anybody explained why somebody with his shirt untucked would face that kind of beating?
No explanation at all, Rob. We're waiting to hear that. We did get the video, but no one's talking about it.
All right, well, if somebody decides to talk, I'm sure you'll let us know. Thanks a lot, Dave. Well, if you see something around town that doesn't feel right, you want to expose corruption in your area, perhaps, email Dave and the 2 investigators. Go to cbs2chicago.com. You'll find a link on the bottom right of the homepage.